Hi guys, in my last video we were taking a look at the TBS Gemini Racer. Now some of you guys know I need to do a repair to this, which basically involves a full frame replacement. So today we're going to do a video on that, and we're going to see how easy or hard it is to actually swap everything over onto a brand new frame. So let's get to it. So if you place your order for a TBS frame, this is what you're going to get. So we just need to swap out all of these parts. First of all, I'm going to unplug the power cable on the main board. Then I'm going to remove the whole flight controller and ESC board. This comes off as one, as you can see. Just pull up gently on this to remove it. If you need to replace an ESC, you can see the solder tabs underneath the main board here. The TBS has a very modular design, so things can be disconnected and reconnected later. So here I'm disconnecting the receiver and the video transmitter. Now I'm going to remove the TBS core and disconnect it from the camera. The camera board is held onto the frame using 5 plastic pins. To remove the camera, just push the pins back through the frame. You can just make out the pins now protruding from the frame. Simply pull these pins out. You can now see that the camera module now just comes off the frame. Now let's remove the motors from the old frame. You can see this is actually the first time that I'm having to use a tool. TBS has actually redesigned this idea, and no longer do you need to use any tools. It uses a locking pin system, which I will show you in a moment. Here's a close-up of the new pin that you no longer need to use tools for. Here's a close-up on how the pins work. You actually push them in from the bottom and then push the remaining half inside. You'll see that it clips when it pops out. Now this part of the motor is locked in. The nice thing about this clip system is that you do not need tools. This means it's quite easy to swap motors or even a whole frame whilst out at the field. So here's a real time of how long it takes to add all 4 pins to the motor. It actually works out about 20 seconds. And the last pin in, all done. Repeat the process for the rest of the motors. Now let's install our camera board back onto the frame. Insert the tabs through the frame and then place the pins through the tabs. This will hold it in place. Now it's time to replace the core. Use double-sided tape to hold this in position. It's also a good idea to plug the camera cable in now before putting this into position. As you can see, once the core is in place, there's not a lot of room to fit that cable inside. Now let's fit our flight control board back onto the frame. Align the pins into position and then gently push down. Now reconnect the power supply to the flight control board. Then connect your receiver to the flight control board and plug in the video transmitter to the core. Hold the video transmitter in place using strong double-sided tape. And it's as simple as that. your TBS Gemini has now been reframed and is looking fresh again. For you guys that like to fly using the NAIS32 control board, look out, because on the forums there will be a new update for the Colibri. The update will give you new flight modes similar to the NAIS32, so you will have your initial stabilize mode, and then the horizon mode with the automatic flips, as well as the manual type mode. So that will be coming soon. During a recent talk with Trappy, he informed me that he's been working very hard on the gain settings for the new software. He wants to ensure that the gains are going to work perfectly whether you're flying with the Mobius or without. The Mobius actually adds up to around 30% of the extra weight of the machine, so this is why tuning is so important. That's all for now guys, thanks for watching, stay tuned, there's plenty more to come.